Welcome to the Condition Red podcast where preparedness meets culture. All right, you know what it is, Condition Red Pod. We here for, what, episode 2?
Episode 2.
All right. So I'm Andre, one of your hosts.
I'm Malik, your favorite fat boy with a firearm.
I'm Keith, your local enthusiast.
And I'm Courtney, just a short guy with guns.
Short guy with guns. All right, fellas, so we back now. Episode 1, we felt like was a pretty good intro to who we are as individuals, who we are as a pod. But we all know like what the people want to see, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Before we even get into that, though,
Okay,
we got to get into our red flag of the week.
let's do it.
I'm going to say sometimes it's not an external threat. I'm the problem sometimes. I really am the problem sometimes. Coming back home from Chick-fil-A, double fisting, lemonades in one arm, Chick-fil-A in the other arm.
He got the Jesus chicken.
Yeah, okay. Stay with the Jesus chicken, except for Sundays. But I pull into my parking pad, which is in the alleyway behind the house, and I get the fumbling with my keys at my back door, which is the worst place you want to be, is in a dark alleyway
Okay, yeah.
in Baltimore City.
Hands full,
fumbling with keys.
Right.
So it really took me a second to like register, like, oh, somebody runs up on me right now, I'm screwed.
Cooked.
I'm screwed, and I'm not dropping these lemonades. So
You gotta let the lemonades go, bro.
I'm gonna just have to take whatever come with it. But yeah, that was probably like the biggest thing for me. So like, I'm looking for a better way to organize my keys. I know I probably should like thumb through them before I get out the car or whatever.
Yeah.
But I probably need a better way to organize my keys.
Can we condense the keys?
I got a lot of keys, and I use them all. I got my like front door key, front screen door key, front door key, back screen door key, back door key. I got my mom's screen door key, her front door key. Same thing for her back door, screen door and front door.
Keys to the city, you know.
You gotta put them on color-coded key rings.
There you go. Like which one which one is home, you know what I'm saying?
Color
like,
coded or labeled or...
Yeah. Put your favorite sports team. Who you like?
This is my home key ring. This is my other key ring. Something.
I've been rocking them with a lanyard in my keys since middle school.
Oh no!
And I'm terrified that if I lose a set of keys, it's gone forever.
Okay.
Like they're on one lanyard for a reason because I'm really responsible. I lose keys like I would lose keys like lighters if they were not on a leash.
That's fair.
Oh, no.
That's fair. What kind of lanyard? Sigma lanyard?
It is still on my Sigma lanyard.
Go mob.
Go mob.
All right.
Shout out to the mob. But I gotta figure out a better solution
All right.
to carry my keys. So this week I was the problem. It wasn't like a crazy person on the train and nothing like that. It was really me.
Okay. All right. See who next?
All right, so I guess my red flag is I got a property. Shout out to the girl LLC. We had some squatters in there. Broke a lot of different things. Mom calls me and is like, "Hey, I feel unsafe." Right, so it's always when the family member is there that you got to be on your P's and Q's when it's just not you.
Wait. This is different squatters from the last time.
Different squatters.
Okay.
Different squatters. They changed the locks. They changed everything.
Damn.
It almost like it was their house for real. So I didn't have to clear the house, but I did, go in there afterwards. My mom, firearm in waist, ready, locked and loaded. Luckily they were already gone by the time the police got there.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of damage. But again, going into a residential area in Baltimore City, you never know what you're gonna get with squatters, right?
For sure.
So always got to be mindful of your surroundings, situational awareness. Thankfully, nothing really major was going on, but it's just that on edge going there and actually pulling up to the scene. So that's just my red flag.
That's correct. How often do you encounter that?
Quite often, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it's an empty property, rehab property, so it looks nice compared to everyone else on the block.
Yeah.
And if anything about squatters, they probably know that nobody's occupying the facility.
Yeah.
So
they watching.
They watching.
Come in and out. Then
they watching. So free heat, free light. So I mean,
It's a good deal.
for them.
Yeah,
For them.
I wish I had free heat, free light.
For them.
Oh, man.
So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. You got one?
I got an old one.
Okay.
On my way over here, I I passed this place that actually reminded me of this particular red flag. A while back, years ago, I actually got robbed by a couple of dudes, right? And you know, as I was walking down the street, I passed this one dude, and he looked at me like strangely, but I didn't think anything.
I didn't register yet.
Yeah, I didn't think anything of it, and you know, I kept walking, but I turned back and I saw that he looked at another dude across the street, and they're making like these, you know, eye contact gestures and whatnot. And that dude is looking at another dude on the corner. So it's three dudes that I'm peeping, but you know, me being young and dumb, not really reacting the way that I should have, and not really having enough real world experience and whatnot. I kind of wrote it off and was like, you know, I'll find safety among numbers. So, you know, I hit the corner. I went into this store. I was just going to order some food. And it turns out these three dudes followed me in there and they rushed me, right? So at this point.
Inside the store for everybody?
Inside the store, yeah. Nobody intervened. Nobody, right? So I get rushed, and, you know, in a matter of a second or two, I'm like, okay, I realize what's happening. I'm being robbed. Don't resist. Just give them whatever it is, because they already got the drop on.
Right. They already, yeah.
So I gave them my phone. I gave them my money. They didn't find the key in my pocket, which oddly I put not in my pocket, in my shoe, in my sock. I don't know why I put it there.
Damn, they checked you that thoroughly.
But yeah, they got off with a few things, right? Ultimately, they got caught.
Yeah.
And you know, that situation got resolved. They went to jail and whatnot, but. I bring that up to just say, don't ignore the hairs that stick up on the back of your neck. If something is off, it's actually off, and respond to that accordingly.
That gut feeling.
Yeah, I completely ignored that, and I kick myself every day for that.
I had a feeling you was gonna bring that up just because of the location.
I told you about this.
You did.
Yes.
Mr. Mind Your Business, how you feel about that?
Even still, he probably couldn't have done nothing about it where we were, just off of where he was.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'll give y'all a little bit more detail after.
Location
all
specific. Like he
It's one of them, let it go. It's one of the ones.
Take that L, bro.
Yeah.
But to the bystanders, I do not blame them for not intervening. Like, you got this one covered. You got this one. This is all you, bro.
Damn.
It's a cold world.
Sorry, brother.
Sometimes.
It's a cold world.
Yeah, that's all you, bro. I'm not jumping in. But so today we got EDC on the docket, right? Again, podcast for beginners, new people coming into the EDC world or the firearms world. Welcome. We're gonna help you take that first step into picking your firearms, learning some of the nomenclature about full size versus a micro compact and all of that jazz.
Right.
And really get into some of what we carry on an everyday basis. We got four different levels of experience, backgrounds, and you'll see how each of our backgrounds and personalities kind of influence what we carry on a day-to-day basis. You want to start with what you got?
Yeah. So, and we keep using the phrase EDC. So let's go ahead and break that down for my beginners out there. EDC means everyday carry, right? And so. We're essentially talking about, what tools we carry every day to protect ourselves, whether it's a lethal like a firearm or non-lethal, knives, things of that nature. It could be even down to, wallets, whatever we use every single day. So, yeah, we're going to highlight what we are carrying every single day. You want me to go first, you said? Is that what you?
Yeah, you can jump right in. Just go around the room.
Go around the room?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll kick it off. Okay, hey, guys, let's do it. So I'm going to get into a few things here. One of the first things that I make sure I carry every single day is some form of knife. And so let me get this out of your head. I'm not carrying it I could, right? But I'm not carrying it for necessarily self-defense, right? I carry a knife for opening up a box, cutting the seatbelt, things of that nature. So what I have is my Smith & Wesson OTF out the front knife, right? So boom, there we go. All right, that is what I'm carrying every single day for my particular knife. Just simply goes in my pocket, ready to rock and roll in case I need to deploy it for any reason. Always carry a knife, guys. And then I am rocking out with my pepper spray. So, fellas, you can carry a pepper spray too. All right, it's not a feminine thing to do. All right, I use POM, POM. All right, Palm pepper spray. You can go on Amazon right now, order it, like $13. I am more likely to pull this pepper spray before I pull my firearm, right? So this is something that I carry on me every single day just in case I need to use it less lethal. From my opinion, and we could talk about it later, but I always feel like if the only thing you're carrying a firearm is like that's all you're going to think about if it's the only tool you have. So I like to carry something else, a little pepper spray action. And I do carry a light. All right, so this is my Cloud Defensive Micro Light. I am a big fan of having a light on you at all times. It doesn't matter if you leave the house at 6 a.m. and you just assume you're going to make it home before it gets dark. You might get into an accident. Somebody might say, hey, come out to happy hour, and then you're out at nighttime or, whatever the case may be. So I need something to be able to see, yes, the iPhone ain't getting it done, okay? And if you do have a light on your gun, that's not a flashlight, people.
Nope.
Okay?
Say it again.
Yeah, the light on your gun is not a flashlight. You can't go into the garage and be like, yo, I can't see, and pull out your pistol and turn the light on, because then when Ms. Johnson comes out the door, you have now assaulted Ms. Johnson. I don't think that's a smart thing to do.
I'm so glad you said that. Because I get a lot of Sugar Honey ST for not having a light on my carry guns, on my EDCs.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you don't need it?
For one, there's enough. Here's my not so great hot take, but I feel like if you're in a city or a place where you cannot see this, you can't see the stars at night, that means there's enough ambient lighting in your vicinity to see something in the dark. Now, like you just said, if you feel like there's a threat and you can't see,
right, and
you pull out your firearm, you're already pointing a gun to quote unquote see this threat.
Okay.
Like the order of operations is out of order.
I mean, that's why you got an off-body light.
That's different than having one with your carry gun.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Initially pulling your off-body light to identify, oh, this is a threat. I need to up the game. I need to up the ante.
Yeah, I don't have no issue with the
the off-body,
the handheld.
You don't like the weapon-mounted light.
The weapon-mounted light. I feel like it's an unnecessary thing, and I feel like it gives it a cool factor. But I feel like
it does make the aesthetic look nice.
It was one of those things where people pressure you, especially early on into your gun journey.
Yeah,
they'll say you need a weapon light. You need a weapon light, and I'm like, dude, I got street lights.
We're gonna come back to that. I got a story for that. I got a story for that.
Based on
I got a story for that.
Lights.
Don't forget that. Pin that.
Again, having a distinction between your EDC versus your home defense gun. That's a different story.
For sure.
Unless they're one and the same. Like if your EDC is your home defense gun, then maybe that's a different story.
Okay.
But
we definitely want to.
I got a different perspective on that. But continue.
All right, let's rock and roll. Keep on.
Right,
okay, and so boom, I got my belt here. This is gonna be important as well. I know you're probably looking at this like, what is this like loose stuff he just pulled out? So your belt is going to be just as important to your everyday carry, guys. Your regular Walmart Target belt, your Louis belt cannot maintain the weight of your firearm. It's just not it. So you need to get some type of actually dedicated EDC belt. This is my belt from my good folk, Hunter Constantine. He made a really cool belt here, and I'm not going to get too in the weeds about it, but it's rigid in the front where your firearm goes to maintain the weight of your gun. And it's stretchy on the back because once you get into these EDC belts, they can be real rigid. And as you guys know, right, it can be loud on your back and get uncomfortable. So I like the fact that it's stretchy in the back and makes it a little bit more comfortable for me to carry every day. So, that's my belt. I'm just going to toss that to the side. And, holster. Your holster is key, people, okay? Your holster is key. If you do not have a comfortable holster, you're probably not going to carry, right? So this is my Gray Matters concept. It's called the Django. It is a universal holster, so pretty much it only matters what light is in it, okay? So I usually use an X300, Surefire X300, so this is made for that. So any gun that I have that has that light can fit inside this holster. So this is pretty awesome as well. So shout out to Gray Matters Concept. All right, it's my baby. And for what you all have been waiting for.
Drum roll.
All right, drum roll, please. Oh, yeah. All right, so this is my Fusion Firearms XP Pro. This is a 1911-2011 style firearm, chambered in 9mm. And, of course, all our firearms have been checked and cleared, buddy system by the other. On top here, I got the Vortex Defender ST. I am a big fan of an enclosed dot. They haven't made a green one yet, so it's red. So I'm waiting for that to come out. Surefire X300 for that light that Malik doesn't like. And yeah, this is my everyday carry. Shout out to Fusion Firearms. You guys have made a really awesome gun. This is my baby. So yeah.
All right.
Okay. I'm jump into mine then. Shoot, why not? I got a pretty simple EDC loadout, right? First and foremost, we got my main attraction. Sorry, Keith family. M&P 2.0 metal, full size gun, very flat shooter for me. Feels really good in the hand, great grip texture, all that jazz. Viridian RFX 15 on top. Very simple as far as the carry piece goes.
She pretty.
I really like that gun. It's probably one of the ones that I'm gonna probably keep for a long time.
Yeah.
Smith & Wesson makes good products, though.
Yeah, Smith & Wesson makes a really good handgun. So sometimes I do carry, well, 90% of the time I'm carrying an appendix. However, this is prime real estate.
Sorry, what does that mean, carrying appendix?
Appendix, meaning right below my belly button, essentially.
In the front.
That fupa area, that's where I carry in the fupa. But every now and then, especially when I'm traveling, I will carry in a bag, EDC bag, essentially. And it's not only for my firearms, honestly, because if you see me with this, I'm probably in a car or somewhere where I don't want it pressing up against my stomach like that. So you'll see my holster can go in here. I can just slide in firearm into that, close it back up, yada, yada, yada. But more importantly, beyond just a firearm, again, this is my everyday carry. So like things that I have on me. Game Boy.
Classic. Classic.
I ain't playing.
I still need the link for that, yo.
I got you. Game Boy. Baby wipes, baby.
Get out of baby wipes.
Baby wipes, baby.
Toilet paper does not suffice.
If you know, you know.
Listen. Them things that come in handy so many times.
Listen.
If you're a public, if you go to these bathrooms in public, bring you some baby wipes.
They don't even got the good toilet paper. Yo.
It's like one ply.
Half
Yeah.
ply.
Yeah.
I got the order, so I definitely
And
keep
it's
some in the
itchy.
car. You
We
know what I'm
ain't
saying?
doing the
Like,
one plies.
Yeah.
All right. Especially in the wintertime, black men, mini bottle of Vaseline, you need that.
Yeah.
Them lips gonna be white as snow as soon as you leave the house.
Yeah. You over here like, yo, what's up, Ma? But it look like, you been eating powdered donuts. That's not gonna work, brother. It's not gonna work.
Don't do that. Beats by Dre. Every day. Again, everyday carry. Got a pair of grills in there. Sometimes I switch it up, you know what I mean? And a lighter. Even if you do not smoke, one, you should always have a lighter on you. You never know when you get into a situation where someone's like, hey, can you flick me up? I had a lot of good conversations off just a lighter. It's probably one of those like survival skills you learn as a young man. That you kind of stick with you.
And it's a good fire source, just in case.
Yeah. In case you're Bear Grylls and you need like a fire source. Yeah, sure. I'm not that tactical dude. I'm very practical in the things that I do every day. I am wearing a Hunter Constantine belt. Probably one of the best suggestions for an EDC belt, that hands down, especially for a fluffy guy like myself. That stretchy band, saving lives.
I think I'm the one that gave him that suggestion.
He did. He did suggest that. I give praise where praise is due. He did suggest that.
Okay.
In the summertime, though, when I'm not carrying my M&P, this CCP-10S, very petite, subcompact firearm. And I got it for a deal, like a really good steal. I think it was like $350 on Euro Optic with a $250 store credit.
So credit.
Okay.
Oh, damn. That's not bad at all.
That joint paid for my rifle optic.
Okay.
So it was like,
We like some deals, man.
boy, I'm a thrifty.
Man,
mug.
this hobby is quite expensive, so
It is.
we love a good
Anytime I
deal.
can save a little coins, I will. Just to go, just goes to show you don't have to break the bank in this hobby too much if you wait for a good deal. Obviously, I got light holsters, JX Tactical JX Tactical Fat Guy holster. Like it because it rides very low, the clip, so it gets deep down in there, and it's not like poking up against my stomach all day and super uncomfortable. This joint sits right where I need it to, and I can wear this all day if I need to. Yeah, that's the long and short of my EDC. Like I keep it very simple, very practical. You'll notice I don't have the lights, like for reasons I just stated. I'm not into knives too heavy. It's a long philosophy on knives, but long story short, I'm not in West Side Story, and I'm not finna knife fight nobody. Yeah, that's the long and short of my
Okay.
EDC.
All right. A solid EDC.
Keith, talk to us. What you got?
What you got today,
Show
man?
and tell.
All right, let's see. So, I like to carry a multi-tool because you never know where you're going to need it. I actually needed it last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I had to pull that out of nowhere. Let's see, what else? I carry a pocket knife.
You want to show it to the camera?
Yeah, I carry a pocket knife. Nothing fancy about it. More often than not, I'm just using it to open boxes, Amazon stuff all the time.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, it could double as a lethal tool if I wanted it to, but nothing fancy about it. Just a regular old pocket knife. I do like a off-body light. This is a Streamlight. What is this? ProTac. Powerful little light. I like it.
I haven't added that at all. Okay.
I use this pretty often when I'm dropping stuff in the couch or
Yeah.
like trying to look behind like small spaces and whatnot. But in really close proximity, dark spaces, this thing illuminates very well.
Yeah.
Very, very well. What else do I got? Let's get to start with this one. Firearms. So this is my baby. The Shadow Systems XR 920p, P standing for ported. The port here, this device here, helps me to shoot flatter and the recoil impulse is much lower. So I can shoot accurately and quicker. I like a weapon mounted light. This is my TRL-1. I pretty much put this on all my guns. It's standard. It's affordable. There are other options out there, such as what's the other one?
Surefire.
Yeah.
Cloud Defense. Holosun has
There
one
are so
now.
many options out there.
You can get
but
one from Harbor Freight right now.
Nah, them joints break. Yo, them joints break. Yo, nah.
Don't do Harbor Freight.
Nah, don't do Harbor Freight. Yeah.
you could go a number of different ways, but this is my personal option. I like the Streamlight product. As far as red dot optics, this is actually a green dot. This is the Holosun 507C, and I usually put this on most of my firearms. And this is my go-to. I love this. It's big enough to shoot really quickly. It feels good in my hand. It's just an awesome gun. Side note, if you ever get into a defensive shooting, more than likely your firearm is going to be confiscated.
And never see it again.
Well, it's 50-50. You may or may not see it again, right? Shadow Systems does pledge to replace your firearm in the event that you are in some type of situation like that. And they will reimburse it. They won't give you the light, they won't give you the dot, but they will replace the firearm. So I like that about them. Shout out to Shadow Systems.
That's hella clutch.
So that is my, I'll say 9 months out of the year gun. During the hotter season, I like to have something a little smaller. So this is my Glock 43X.
Ew.
I didn't want to be the one to say it. Gosh darn.
Listen,
Glock.
listen.
Oh.
If you haven't gathered by now, I
Yuck.
am a Glock guy. I like Glock platforms. They just work, and that's me. I like things that just work. All right. Similar setup. I have a TLR 7 sub made by Streamlight on this as well. A Holosun 507K, also a green dot. Nothing really fancy about this. I did upgrade it to have the Shield Arms magazine magwell in the Shield Arms magazine release. Put it over here. And that allows me to have up to 15, 17, 20 round mags. Really depends on what your flavor is, rather than the standard 10 round mags that come with Glock. And yeah, this is my summertime, baby.
Gosh darn Glocks.
That's about all I got.
So you
That's all I
got.
got.
All right.
What you got,
All
Court?
right. Well, I guess you say the best for last.
Oh.
So I got a real simple EDC. So right now I'm rocking the Dagger and Light. This is their murdered out Tonto knife. So a very simple design, easy to fit in the pocket. You can put it on your belt. I like this ring holster because it gives me a positive purchase on my knife in case I have to use it in a defensive situation.
Yeah.
Versus a pocket knife, it's a little bit harder to deploy. This one is just simple. You can grip it like this, or you can have it reverse style. It's just a very simple knife.
Nasty work.
Yeah, nasty work, right? So I also have, these are not brass knuckles. This is a multi-tool by Rebel Industries. So if I'm out and we got to have some drinks, I'm able to pop a bottle open with this. Have a cigar. You can put a cigar holder in there. Just a real cool tool. I also use it as a fidget tool when people are getting on my nerves. So I kind of just play with this. Besides all of that, I have like my wallet. I got, pair of AirPods in there. A pen, because you always need a pen as a grown man. I don't know why you don't have a pen. Signing checks.
We're not in the wood. This ain't the wood.
I don't know, man.
Age, man. I'm using
Nah,
the
man.
Tic-Tac.
You said
I'm
we not
using that
in the field.
electronic.
We not in the military right now.
You got to have that pen.
Writing reports.
So I just got a simple little $7 pen that you pick up from a little click joint.
Courtney the type that actually girl right with the number on the hand.
Yeah.
I'm a little old school, man. I mean, it's a little more personal than asking for the Instagram. You ask for the Instagram, it's a little more personal. You get the phone number.
Tell me you got a landline without telling me you got a landline.
Not now.
All right.
But I'm saying. But as far as my firearm, what I'm carrying most recently, it was a replacement for my 320. If you know, you know. But
shake awake feature.
If you know, you know. But currently, I am rocking the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 Carry Compact.
Amazing.
With a integrated compensator. So this is my new compact carry. I have the Hollow Sun EPS closed emitter. Red dot, not green but red. Say what you want about Hollow Sun, they make very good optics compared to some of the other manufacturers, and they're affordable. I have a Streamlight TRL 7A on here. I'm a fan of weapon lights, so most of my firearms have lights, and this also doubles as my home defense, or one of my home defense as far as handguns go. And that's about it with this particular firearm. I am rocking a, this is a, what is this? A tier 1 concealed.
The Axis.
Axis. This is the Axis one. I like color, because it's easier for me to reholster.
Yes.
Darker colors, great. But if you're trying to reholster in a low lighting atmosphere, color is always great. So I have this. I carry appendix. I have it with a Core Essentials hard belt that I normally wear every day. It doesn't give you that give that Dre and Malik have, but it goes through my loops. I like it. I have a couple of their tactical belts, and I have a couple of their kind of just everyday carry belts. But this is pretty much what I'm rocking today. But I also have a Glock 45 custom that I normally switch in between the Smith & Wesson.
Okay. Solid carry.
Yeah.
Solid carry.
Okay.
I did. Oh, you did remind me. I forgot one thing I had to include. My little nasty work knife there. The Jank Shank from my guys at Tour Knives. So similar to yours, got that ring there, and then I could also, punch somebody with it. It's like some ridges on here as well. So yeah, again, listen, guys, if you're gonna carry a knife in any capacity and you intend to maybe use it possibly for self-defense, go to a knife class and get some training. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Stop going off the movies and stuff and thinking you're gonna pull out a knife and just go to work. It is it's a very intimate thing. I'm not saying that as somebody who's done it, I've never done it, don't want to, but it's a very intimate action using a knife on somebody. And quite often, if you don't know how to use it, somebody taking to use it back on you. So you got to be okay with being cut, yourself.
Gonna get cut. That's why I said I'm not in West Side Story, bro. I'm not getting into no knife fights.
No knife fights.
No knife fights.
Yeah.
If I can avoid it, it's not happening.
I ain't mad at that. All right, so we went through all our EDCs. We all got some dope gear, so hopefully y'all took some notes out there. But let's get into the light thing, can we?
The light?
Yeah.
Man.
Like I said, I do have okay. Quick story, can I?
Go for it.
Okay. So I in no way pressure anybody to get lights, right? If it's not your thing. But I always push because there's certain stories that I've heard, like one from someone I know, my mentor. You guys, most of you all met him. Shout out to Lou, aka Full Metal Sensei, right?
Lou.
Where he had his own story, and his was a better one, but it was also a kind of worse one. And so hate to get dark here real quick, but quick story. Young man, him and his dad, like best friends. He's away at school, not even a holiday. He just calls his dad and say, "Hey man, I miss you. I want to come home," right? So he decides to, he calls his dad and says, "Hey, I'll be there tomorrow at noon. Let's go get lunch." His dad is like, "Cool." Gets off the phone with his dad, decides, you know what? I think I'm going to just leave now, right? Instead of, hitting traffic, everything. So instead of getting home at noon the next day, he gets home at 2 a.m. Okay? Doesn't tell his dad, lets himself in the house. Dad hears him up in the night. Dad goes downstairs, sees figure in the foyer, okay? What do you think Dad did?
Bang, bang.
All right, now his best friend is no longer here. So I'm not going to say there's a lot of other things he could have done differently, verbal commands, things of that nature, right? Things we'll talk about when we talk about home defense later. But if he had a light, he could have maybe used it, and he would have, because clearly he couldn't tell it was his son. It was dark enough, right?
Yeah.
If he had a light, flick that thing on, that's my son.
Like I said, I have
Right.
no issues with a light on your home defense gun.
Home defense, okay, but on the EDC,
On
you're
the
like,
EDC, the one that you carry outside the house every day. For one, here's my thing. I got a limited real estate on this waistband. This waistband is prime real estate, and let your girl tell it it's waterfront property. But
oh wow,
I don't need no extra bulk on that prime real estate.
I'm not mad at that.
So like that the slimline pistols, those are what I'm going for.
Yeah.
On the waistband and nothing else.
Okay.
I'm not Batman. I don't need a whole bunch of other
Utility belt?
accoutrements on the belt. I just need the one joint, and that's it.
Okay. My next question: what could we tell because we said that this pod is for the everyday person, right?
Right.
That there's plenty of the tactical and extra stuff that people can go find, but we're here for the everyday person. So, what could we tell like the mom of 3 out there, right, with the kids, that, and she's like, hey, what gun is going to be best for me, or what tool needs to be a part of my everyday to make sure I get home? What advice could we give that person?
So I would say, coming from a firearms dealer, right? This is something that I've seen in my profession, right? You got the moms coming in, you got the first time gun owners. I would definitely say go with what you're comfortable with, right? Stick within your budget. I normally tell like my clients, hey, find a budget, stick within that budget, and then go to the range, try a whole bunch of different things, right? Because, if it doesn't fit in your hand, or you don't like how it feels, then you're not going to want to use it, right? So it's cool to look cool, right? You kind of want the aesthetics of a nice looking firearm. We all want to look good, right? But find what fits for you. What, your friend may have, she may have spent $1,200 on hers, while you only really need a $600 firearm, right? So again, you don't need, a red dot and everything and all these, cool gadgets that go along with the firearm. Because if you don't know how to use it, then you don't know how to use it. But I would just say get trained with whatever firearm you get.
Yeah.
If you get one with the safety, learn how to, work the safety.
Right.
Which you will notice that most of our firearms do not have external safeties.
Yeah.
So the only safety that you have is essentially keep your finger off the trigger, right? And I think once people learn those mechanics, they'll feel more comfortable. But if you're not comfortable there yet,
Oh no.
for sure, get one that you're gonna with, whether it's a safety, but that's just another thing that could fail, and you have to train with it.
Okay.
So I think that one driving factor, in my opinion, is going to be cost, right?
Cost for sure.
And that cost includes both the firearm, it includes training, going to classes, it includes ammo, it includes a myriad of things,
time.
For sure.
A whole laundry list of things. Now, to your point, right? Maybe this mother of multiple children doesn't have the time or energy to do that, right? Still, stick within, set a budget. What can you afford? There are plenty of options
Affordable.
out there. Yeah,
I say
plenty
affordable.
of
Especially in
options out there.
2025. Like the
You
budget
do
guns
not-
are
Don't
You do not need to buy
don't do cheap.
$1,000 gun.
What you mean cheap? Okay.
So the term that I never used in the firearm deal was cheap, because cheap is essentially cheap, right? It's
It
going to
means
break.
Quality is bad. That's what it
It's
means.
going to break. You're going to have terrible customer service. It's just not a good firearm. I don't normally recommend budget, right? So if you first time coming in, I would always say stick between $300 and maybe like $550.
Okay.
Like you'll get a solid firearm. Smith & Wesson makes good ones.
Yep.
You know, if you're a Glock person, if you're a Canic person, you know, whatever you're,
You could even go Taurus.
or you can go Taurus, right?
Yeah.
So you can always definitely.
PSA makes a great
PSA.
Glock clone. That PSA dagger.
PSA
I
dagger.
Yeah.
have 3 of them
I have
just because
one.
they're dirt cheap. Well, not excuse me, dirt budget.
Right. budget.
And they're
budget,
and they're,
man.
But they're
You just wear a
really,
budget.
Really good shooters. The tanks, as far as I can tell, mine's got thousands of rounds through them. I literally gifted one to my dad. He was like, "I want a firearm," and I didn't hurt because it was only like $300 for the full gun. Here, you can have it as a gift.
Side note, also consider if your gun is used in a situation, right, and it's confiscated, you're not going to cry about
Yeah, you're not gonna cry
$300
about
gone.
that.
No,
That's it.
I'm gonna cry about my gun.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Well, but I'm gonna get some money back for mine. That's something we'll get into later. But
Okay.
I'm gonna get some money back for mine.
But
Alright.
I would say to
I wanna know
Keith's
what the game
point,
is there.
but I would definitely say to Keith's point, like, think of like a firearm purchase as a car purchase, right? You know, you go, you pick out the car that you want, you get in the car, you feel it, you test drive it, right? But then what you find is that you need to have insurance on it. Insurance in the firearm is essentially your ammo, right? It's too many times I've sold a firearm to somebody and not necessarily upsell them, but, you know, hey, do you need anything else to go with it? And they don't buy ammo. And I look at them like, you sure you at least want a box of 50?
That's
And they
a
like,
paperweight right there.
and they like, nah, I don't, it's too much. And I'm like, all right, I got it, right? You may not want to buy, you know, your home defense ammo, but at least buy range ammo.
Right.
Something.
You just
Right.
spent, you know, $500, $600 on a firearm,
Spend another 20.
and
Yeah.
they go home with no ammo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not trying to upcharge you. I'm just,
Try
what's the point of have the firearm
Got a
and
$500
Agreed.
paperweight.
you got a paperweight,
Yeah.
right? So
Either that or scale back or just wait until you're ready.
yeah,
Wait until you're ready.
Yeah.
One other thing I'll add to that is don't look at the aesthetics of the firearm as like the marker of whether or not you should buy it, right? I think a lot of beginners feel that a smaller firearm is gonna be best for them.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
That's not the case. Even the CZ that I showed you guys earlier, I have like a extended magazine that allows me to get a full purchase on that CZ. A full size firearm probably going to serve you best, but a micro 9, they're like the baby cricket off Men in Black.
yeah, for sure.
Like, they're buck crazy. Free State has
Shout out to Free State Gun Range.
Yeah, shout out to Free State.
Shout out
They
to
have a
Free
ladies' night on Wednesdays, and it's $25 if you're a woman or if you come with a woman, and they let you rent as many guns as possible.
Yes.
So you can go through the whole wall and test out every single firearm, and see what you like the best. Beyond that, I'll say, and this is part, I'm not sure if the gun range is off of this. I haven't seen it in the past, but finding something that fits your body as far as concealment goes. I made the mistake of buying a firearm that has like a bobtail, like the back is like curved, and that bobtail will stick out when you put it in the holster. So my stomach is basically being stabbed by a hook for hours at a time.
Yeah.
Eventually, that gun goes out of the rotation, It's essentially a range toy at this point. And those are just some of my hurdles that I've gone through over the time, where it's like, man, I really could have saved a couple $100 off of, had I just known, like, okay, this bobtail's gonna stab me, I don't need that. This is gonna be crazy recoil, I don't need that. This gun doesn't have a holster. Like,
Yeah.
No companies make one.
yeah, nobody makes a
gun,
holster for this gun anymore, so I
yeah.
can't use that. Like, yeah.
Side note, please stay away from leather holsters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
not
Please
Wild
get,
Wild
please,
West.
please get Kydex holsters. Kydex holsters. Let me see that one real quick.
Hard plastic.
Hard
something
plastic. Hard plastic
Kydex.
Kydex.
Now, this does have a little flex, like Malik said, to kind of fit your body type. To his point, unfortunately, you'll go through a lot of different things to find out what works for you. And that's just the name of the game. With any type of hobby, whether you're an enthusiast, whether you're a professional, you'll find out what firearms work for you, what holsters work for you, what's set up on your belt. But definitely you want hard plastic. It doesn't warp. It doesn't shrink in heat. I can get this wet and it'll go in just as if it was dry, right?
The biggest thing for me with those is the fact that
No pause. No pause. Which is crazy. Because I know what you was going to do. No.
I'm childish. Sorry.
the biggest thing for me with Kydex holsters is the fact that you're less likely to accidentally engage your trigger
Yes.
as opposed to a leather holster. A leather holster will misshape itself, it will deform. You just want to have something that will not engage the trigger unless you want to engage the trigger.
It keeps its shape even with the firearm not in it.
Okay.
That's the goal.
So you brought up something earlier, and so did you, around the safeties and how that plays into the choice, the illusion of safety. When I first got my PSA dagger, it really weirded me out that it did not have a manual safety.
Yeah.
Like, the only way to not make sure that the gun does not go off is to keep your finger off the trigger, and psychologically that is a hurdle for a lot of folks getting
It is.
to
That's
it.
facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And you'll find them going for like an easy shield with has like two levels of safety: the grip safety and the manual safety.
Yeah.
What would y'all say is the best way to get over that hurdle? Because even today, like, I know, being very transparent, sometimes it's rarely carry, especially if it's a new gun.
Israeli
carry
so what he
being-
means is he does not have one in the chamber while he's carrying.
Yeah, sorry for the nomenclature.
It's okay.
Thank you-
It's all good.
Thank you for the
That's what we're
explanation.
here for.
but
That's what we're here for.
Sometimes if it's a new gun and I'm sketchy about it, I don't know how it feels on the waistband, I'll just rarely carry that gun until I'm comfortable. Sometimes I'll put a snap cap in there, cock it back with the snap cap, and carry it all day. And we're okay, snap cap, it's still cocked.
Yeah.
It didn't go off. I'll do that for weeks on end until I'm comfortable with that gun. But what are some tips that y'all have for people getting over that initial hurdle of having that loaded gun
Yeah.
You hit it
pointing
on,
at their jump?
You hit it on the head. Like, that's exactly what I did when I first started carrying my Glock. I think it's a Glock Gen 3 19. And I carry mine appendix, which is at 12 o'clock right here in front of me. And I did the same thing you did. I racked the slide back. The trigger was prepped. And I didn't put a snap cap in, but I put the gun in my waistband, and I just walked around with it all day, wondering, okay, is this thing actually going to go off in my pants? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I did that for weeks on end. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Then I elevated to, okay, well, let me start dry firing with this, dry firing, practicing shooting, the whole mechanics of shooting without actually having a round in the chamber.
Empty gun.
A live round.
A completely empty gun. Do this at home for free 99, right? I did this for weeks just drawing, right? Like, I want to get used to pulling the gun and not engaging the trigger while it's still pointed at family jewels. You know what I mean? Like, I want to record myself and look back at myself like, am I actually getting on target first before that trigger finger is going click, click, right? So there are a number of things that you can do to get comfortable with it, but it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take some time.
That's what I mean, that's essentially what I tell students, right? Because that question comes up all the time. It's just like, first off, you're carrying in the front. Like, all the dudes be like, yo, you sure? I'm like, yo, this gun's not going to go off. Unless it's
Unless
620. Anyway, but
Unless-
Nine times out of 10. 9 times out of 10.
I want to be clear. The gun is just not going to go off in your pants, guys, right? If you have a working firearm, you have a proper holster like we talked about, and that trigger guard is covered, it's not just going to go off, right? You have to have something in there to actuate that trigger, which is why you say if you're going to do bag carry, I meant to point out earlier, you notice he has a holster still in his bag, right? Something's still covering that trigger guard. But yeah, take the time to make yourself comfortable. So if you're like, yo, I don't know if I can go around with one in the chamber, which is essentially having one inside the barrel of the firearm ready to go. If you press the trigger, the guns can go off. That's what one in the chamber means. Yeah, I can understand that's uncomfortable, but you got to look at it this way. Like, not having one in the chamber ready to go is like saying, yeah, I'm going to drive without a seatbelt. And like when that accident occurs, I'm going to take my seatbelt and put it on. That's not going to happen, right? So
Seconds definitely matter.
yeah, right. Seconds count, and so
Fractions.
you're not going to have
Yeah.
time. Like self-defense, you're already behind the eight ball, so you're not going to. And if you're somebody who's not training like crazy, like we do, like you're not going to go, oh my God, here's my threat, pull my gun, rack that thing, and you're going to pull it out and start to press, and then you're going to be like click, and it's going to be the loudest click of your life, and could be the last click you ever hear. So I tell people, walk around your house like you guys did. Like put the loaded gun on, put one in there if you need to. Walk around the house with it. Then once you feel comfortable, go to Target, run one errand with it. Try to Target, come back, and then you'll get used to the fact that I got a loaded gun on, pointed at places, and that feels weird. But that's something you got to overcome. If you can't overcome it, you got to train some more. You got to get yourself to a point where like you understand like what comes with that. And then you had something else you want to say. My bad.
Yeah, I mean, to the point around alternate carry options.
Yeah.
You got to train that. Like same way that everybody else trains their dry fire and appendix carry. If you got a bag like a 945 Industries bag that just rip away, you still got to practice that draw.
Yes.
The bag that I got right now, I have to stage the zippers, and it took time for me to figure out. Okay, I got to put the zippers.
What do you mean by stage the zippers?
By staging the zippers, like if I'm right now, they're not staged, right? They're just on the. I'm not gonna come around and pull it all the way around.
Yeah.
Right. I would have to have mine like right here, ish, and just be able to, again, staging, pull it down, reach in. That would you have to figure out what works for your carry method, and then you got to practice that. The issue is, I can't get a live fire practice with this because they're not going to let me do this at the range.
Right.
So this has become like literally I'm getting in the car, and I don't want to know my appendix. Let me put it on my chest. And half the times, it's funny, sometimes gun guys will be like, he has a gun on his chest, and I'm like, no, I don't.
Yep, that's me.
No, I don't.
That's me.
It's on my waistband, buddy. But
Yeah.
you keep thinking that.
And like you said, if you're gonna do the bag, you got to train with it. Ladies, hate to call y'all out. You already know what I'm gonna say. Don't put it in that purse. Don't you do it. Right? I say this with love. I have never seen an organized woman's purse in my life. Don't you beat me up in the comments, okay? I'm just saying. Okay? Guns are heavy, which means they're gonna go where? To the bottom. You don't need to be, first off, it's probably not in a holster if you're doing it. I've seen that so many times, right? And then let's be clear.
The lip gloss gets in the trigger guard.
Lip gloss get in the trigger guard, or
and
everything is on top of it.
And now you
Your
got a
lip
round
gloss,
going through your
extra underwear,
bag.
your wipes, your wallet, everything is on top of that gun. It's at the bottom. You reaching for it, and your threats are standing there like, I wonder what she's reaching for, right? And then also, let's be clear, if a man's rolling up on you, he's probably coming to take something, and it's probably that purse. So now I'm going to grab that purse. Now I got your entire life, and I have your gun. So I do have some former students, right, that, you know, they live that, I call them my bougie ladies, that luxury life. They got Bottega, Louis Gucci bags, and they've gone as far in their luxury bags to take like a Velcro wall, put it on one side, and they have a literal holster of Velcro to it inside. So if you roll up on them and you be like, oh, this is a lick right here, she got money, she gonna reach in that Louis, and it be the lat. Listen, so if you're gonna do it. But like he said, go train it, dry fire it, find a range that will allow you to draw from holster. You tried it with Free State? They won't let you?
Free State will only let me draw from appendix or strong side. This bag is not.
Dang, it sounds like we should run out the range one night and have some fun with
Might
that.
have
Make
to,
a
man.
video off of that.
Might have to.
Yeah, I'm with it.
But yeah, guys, I think this was a solid episode. We showed the people what they wanted to see,
For sure.
what we carry every day. So at this point, guys, listen, we are the YouTube stuff, right? Like, subscribe, share it, right? Drop comments below,
for sure.
what you carry, what else you might want to see us talk about, what firearm questions you might have. Again, we're not experts, but we're pretty knowledgeable, and if we don't know the answer, we can go find it. Any last things you guys want to drop for the people?
No, I think we're good, man.
Stay vigilant, man. That's
man,
all I got. Stay vigilant.
Yeah, I would just say, whatever you do, stay vigilant, especially around these times, holiday times. Keep your head on the swivel. Be aware of your surroundings, whether you're going shopping, whether you're out with family, whether you're carrying a firearm or not. Just situational awareness.
Yeah, man. When the heat stop working, then the heat start working. It's robbing season, so be careful.
Yeah, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you and yours. And as always, guys, this is the Condition Red podcast where awareness is first, tools are second, and mindset is always. All right. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.